The last ride into a nostalgic past.
Food's incredible superpower is that it can take you back in time. Want to travel back to a world that included recess? Here are 10 nostalgic food items from your childhood.
I'm gonna cry, man.
French Toast Crunch.
Want French toast?
You know what they say, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. This delectable breakfast takes all the goodness of French toast and makes it convenient. No more toiling in the kitchen for hours to make a meal that will be scarfed down in 5 minutes. You don't want to wake up any earlier than necessary on a school day. All breakfast time should be eating time, not cooking time. This is why cereal has become the perfect breakfast solution, and this cereal is hard to beat. We don't know how they did it, but somehow cereal form is the best version of French toast.
I'm better than you.
Even though warm, soft French toast is always delicious, those crunchy bits around the edges were always the best part. You won't have to worry about the cereal being burnt, though. By eating your French toast in cereal form, you know you'll be getting all the crispy with none of the char. Save those grill marks for your steaks. Want to know the best part about this cereal? Chugging the bowl of sweet cinnamon-infused milk at the end, of course. There is no childhood memory so distinct as slurping up sugary milk at the end of a delicious bowl of cereal. Dunkaroos.
Any Dunkaroos you see are literally from the 90s.
Stand aside, Girl Scouts. There's another boss in the pantry and he can totally out-hop you. Didn't you ever wish you could take a cake to school? Well, Dunkaroos are the next best thing. The concept seems too simple to be earth-shattering, but unless you've had them, you can't even imagine the joy they can bring to lunch period. This snack consisted of little kangaroo-shaped cookies with a pot of icing on the side for dipping. It's hard to say whether the chocolate or the rainbow sprinkle icing was the best, but you knew that if you got the plain vanilla, you probably did something to deserve it. Maybe you forgot to make your bed again? The plain vanilla ones were hidden in the cupboard and only brought out on not-so-special occasions.
It's boring.
Dunkaroos were a surefire way to make friends, too. Who could say no to a freshly dipped piece of cookie, especially if they only had a lame apple for a snack? Whip out one of these bad boys during lunch and you knew you could be the most popular kid for the day if you wanted. If you weren't in the mood to share, you can also just hide in the corner of the playground and eat every single last one by yourself. Sure, sharing is nice, but it's not always necessary, especially when there are cookies and icing on the line. Sometimes the creepy kid lurking in the shadows is the best kid to be. Ritz crackers and cheese.
You want some cheese and crackers, buddy?
When you think about being an adult, one thing you might think of is parties with crackers and cheese. So it should be no surprise that kids who wanted to be mature beyond their years latched onto this sophisticated snack. It was delicious and cheesy. Oh yeah, and adulty. It was hard not to feel like you were on the Titanic with your stylish red spreader and cup full of non-refrigerated cheese. Though you certainly could share this one, you didn't want to. And you usually didn't have to either, which was the best part. This was the kind of snack that was cool to have, but wasn't as in demand in the sharosphere.
All right, it's all for me.
Most kids would flock to the dessert snacks and leave you alone with your crackers and cheese. No complaints about that. If you happened to get one of these plus a dessert snack, it was an automatic popularity point. Obviously, one measly point isn't going to get you the crown on your first day, but it certainly didn't hurt. Savory snacks were cool, but they were definitely a step down from desserts, unless they were an extra special cheese. Yes, the playground rules are a little harsh sometimes, but it's better than total chaos, right? Push Pops.
I'm too old for this.
If hard candy is your thing, but you just wish it could last a little longer, you're gonna love this next childhood memory, Push Pops. This candy stick seemed so big. You'll never finish the whole thing at recess, so it comes in a convenient tube with a lid. That way you can save it for lunch and maybe even still have some left for after school. Unfortunately, the people who designed it failed to remember that kids like candy, and it's really not that big. So if you want to eat it to last last until lunch, you probably shouldn't start it until lunch.
It's too small.
This candy is more of a weekend candy anyways, though. It's meant for a summer day in the park with your friends. You can all go to the store and each pick out your favorite one. Part of the glory of this treat is it's almost exclusively enjoyed by kids. The adults of the world can take their judgment and worthers and feel mature in the corner. If you don't like blue raspberry anymore, that's your problem. We'll be over here sticking our blue tongues out at you and enjoying the free Wi-Fi. Lunchables.
Is where Lunchables live, Mom.
When it comes to childhood favorites, it's hard to get more iconic than Lunchables. It's like a TV dinner for lunch, but somehow it's just so much cooler. And by cooler, we mean it's actually cold. Well, you can heat it up if you want to, but eating it cold is playground tradition. Lunchables is the lunch where versatility reigns supreme. You could have classic crackers and cheese, or you could switch it up and have pizza or a hot dog. These switch-ups were not only fun, but they let you eat things you never thought were possible at school before Lunchables came along. Yes, you might have had cold pizza before, but usually it's eaten with previously melted cheese. These lunches were designed to be eaten cold through and through, and that was an iconic experience all on its own.
It was awesome.
This lunch is so fun because it's basically a choose-your-own-adventure kind of meal. Kids could make adult decisions about how they would eat the spread in front of them. You could eat everything together or eat each part individually. You can also move things around and eat them in a different order. Does the flavor change if you have a cracker, meat, and cheese versus a cracker, cheese, and meat? Or is it all the same no matter how you eat it? This experimentation is how chefs are made. P.S. The correct answer is yes, the flavor does change. True Lunchable connoisseurs and culinary artists should know. Gushers.
I loaded the pantry up with Gushers. Saw that.
This candy masquerading as a fruit snack was the ultimate Mysterio of the playground. They were an outlandishly popular snack, but the only way you could get them was by convincing an adult they were healthy. And Gushers were totally happy to play this game right along with you. They were disguised as a fruit-based snack for this very reason. Unknowing adults accidentally purchased this candy thinking they were little fruit snacks filled with nutritional fruit juice. As long as everyone kept their lips sealed, everyone was happy. Well, you couldn't fully seal your lips. You'd have to open them for long enough to pop another Gusher in your mouth.
It's complicated.
If this trick worked, you were so happy because not only were they little sweet gummy treats, but they were treats that exploded in your mouth. Though you might not think that mixing chewy and liquid would work, once you've tried it, there's no going back. The juicy center, the part that was advertised as healthy, was actually the best part, and no other snack has ever figured this out. If someone had Gushers regularly, you knew you had to be their friend if you wanted in on the action. Ritz Bit Sandwiches.
The bits, the bits,
The bits!
It's hard to imagine a childhood without Ritz Bits. Whether you had your own or not, you were sure to come across this glorious snack at some point, and the memory will live on forever. Ritz Bit sandwiches came in many flavors, but the classics were most definitely cheese and peanut butter. Cheese for the savory fans and peanut butter for the sweet enthusiasts. Peanut butter's a little more risque than it was before, though, so the cheese version has definitely become the dominant Ritz Bits sandwich over time. If you plan on sharing, and nobody will blame you if you don't want to. These bite-sized snacks are perhaps the most perfect of perfect snack foods.
One of the best of the best.
They are simple, practical, and virtually mess-free. So what more could you want in a snack food? Yes, the box could be larger, but you could always just buy two. If you're looking to stock your next party with snacks but want to do more than the classic chips and Cheetos, look no further than Ritz Bits. Yes, goldfish can be fun, but everyone still eats those and remembers how much they love them. When you put a bowl of Ritz Bits sandwiches out at your next party, the only challenge will be keeping it full. Fun Dip.
Where's Lloyd with our fun dip?
This nostalgic treat is so much fun. How can you tell? Because they named it Fun. They wouldn't be allowed to name it Fun if it was boring. If you're looking for a super sweet treat that's basically a vessel for eating a bunch of sugar, this is exactly what you want. It's a candy stick used to eat candy, and it's what children's dreams are made of. The sugary powder is like Pixie Sticks, but the presentation solves Pixie Sticks' problem. The open packaging means you can't accidentally melt the sugar on the top and block off the sugar source. Of course, there are fun flavors and colors to choose from, but they don't really matter.
Whatever.
There are multiple options, and they're all variations on yummy. Usually, each pack has a couple of different flavors, too, so you can go back and forth or eat one at a time. They also have sour flavors if you're feeling brave and adventurous. The only sad thing about it is you'll never manage to get all the sugar out of the bag. The stick will shove it all into the bottom corners, and the only way to get at it would be to completely destroy the package so you can lick out the interior. This has never been done by any human child, ever. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Bubble tape.
That's not even a real ruler, that's bubble tape.
Bubblegum has always had a problem. There is no ideal size for everyone. The little pieces fit in every mouth, but you won't be able to make a sizable bubble. The large pieces are great for bubbling, but horrible for small mouths. Obviously, you can't cut your gum in half like an oddball. This problem was so rampant, it sent many gum companies down the road of creating safe sizes, while chewers were forced to try and double up whenever they could. It took someone as talented as Mr. Wrigley to develop the best solution, Hubba Bubba Bubble Tape. Now you could get your bubble gum in a 6-foot-long tape instead of in individually wrapped packages.
We need to change. We need innovation.
It's the perfect gum format for all your bubble-blowing needs. Now, before you get carried away having too much fun, remember you still have one choice to make. Which flavor is the best? Cotton candy, tangy tropical, cola party, or maybe just the awesome original? No matter which you pick, you're sure to be transported back in time to the playgrounds of your childhood, with Miss Frizzle reminding you not to go upside down on the monkey bars while chewing gum. This warning actually worked though, because you knew the threat of your gum going for an adventure through your digestive system was real. Fruit by the foot.
He thought it was a fruit by the foot that had gone bad.
If you thought bubblegum tape was sweet, you definitely found fruit by the foot cool, too. Long pieces just make food more fun, and it's also kind of the best when your snack is almost as tall as you are. Fruit by the foot was truly ahead of its time. It was designed to be a TikTok challenge before social media even existed. The challenge was to unwrap the whole thing, put the tip of it in your mouth, clasp your hands behind your back, and race to see who could get the entire thing in your mouth first.
That sounds awesome.
Seriously, did they also invent TikTok or something? Geniuses! The brilliance of this game was that anyone could win. It was a skill all on its own, equalizing younger and older siblings and even adults. Actually, usually adults borderline sucked at this game, which was proof that passion and drive can outperform experience any day. The best part about playing was that you still got an awesome prize no matter who won or lost. You just ate 3 whole feet of fruit by the foot. Show us some love. Tap or click on another great video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell.